Okay. So if you want to make this more brighter, like the flash more brighter, then you just have to use the right button. Just keep going up. It will do it in increments of 0.3. You'll notice. Okay. So the lower the number gets, the brighter it's going to be. So if I start off 128, 1 over 128 is the lightest flash. So if I do like a test shot, so it wasn't that bright. Now if I go all the way to the highest you can go is 1 over 1. All right. So you'll notice if I do it now, see how bright that was. Okay. That beep just now means that you're ready to take the next photo. But yeah, it depends on the lighting situation that you're taking the photos in. And it depends on how this is set up too. Sometimes if your shutter speed is too high, like if it's like 1 over say 500, you will see the bars, which is not good. So you kind of want to try to keep your shutter speed, try to like around 1 over 100. I'd say probably don't go more than maybe 1 over, probably like 1 over 150 or something, or 160. Try not to go over that, because I'll show what I mean. So if it's like over 1 over 500, and I'd take a photo of like maybe like this. See that?
Yeah, that's because of the shutter speed.
Yeah. So, but if I take a photo of it, say like 1 over 160.
Yeah.
See, that's much better exposed.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much how you use it, really.
That's basically
pretty
so.
Simple.
If I put the ISO lower and the flash higher, that means it will be less grainy in the photos. The photos will be more clearer.
Correct.
Whereas if I make this lower and that ISO higher, it'll look not as good because the quality is reduced because of the ISOs.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So the same rules of like when you use a higher ISO, it's going to get more grainier, of course.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you use it less, you're not going to see as much grain.
Yeah. So it's better to make this more powerful and the ISO less.
Yeah. It depends on the lighting situation too. But usually, like if it's in the if it's like when I was doing a boat party once, I was kind of mainly just sticking like around here, like maybe 1 over 64. My ISO probably been like I tend to try not to go over 10,000. That's usually like
10,000.
I try not to.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
that's pretty high.
But chances are you're never going to go over that because you've got a flash.
Flash.
So usually I'd probably stick around maybe 1,500 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
So how do they do those photos where there's 2 types of photos you can do? So for example, you take a photo of the person and the background is dark, but the person is lit. And then the second type of photo is the background is lit and the person is lit. So like, do you know what I mean?
Well, in that case, then you can just, if in camera, you can see it like perfectly like lit, it's perfectly exposed, then you can just reduce this, like bring this all the way back up to press the back button. Maybe just bring it to 1 over 128. Or if you're feeling lazy and don't want to have to like keep playing with this all the time, then you can adjust the settings in here to adjust for that flash. So for instance, maybe you might want to, if it's say, for example, if it's a dark overall background, where you can't you can't see the subject and you can't really see the background either. So your flash, probably maybe like a 1 over 32 might be good, because like when you take a photo, they'll be perfectly exposed. And obviously, if you keep that same setting, and then now like the gliding conditions are better. Like for example, you can see your subject, you can see the background. If you did that same shot with a 1 over 32, then they're going to be too exposed. So
because
maybe
if the person is really exposed, I mean, if you want the background to be exposed, but then you put the lighting up, then the person will be too white, right?
Exactly. So that's why you want to adjust either the settings in here or here. Usually I try to change it around in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to touch this if I can. I usually just play around with the settings. Like if they're going to be too bright, if I take with the flash, then I'm going to have to maybe reduce the shutter speed. Oh, sorry, not the shutter speed, the aperture. Or even the ISO. Aperture or ISO.
And the 35mm doesn't have to change?
35mm? No, it doesn't have to change. No.
Okay.
No. That's pretty much how you use it.
And do I have to change the direction of the flash?
You can. It's like pretty omnidirectional. You can like you can move it like wherever you want depending on the situation. Usually I just have it. It's better when I have a roof, because that way And I have this little white tab here. So how you get this up is pretty much you just pull this tab here. Okay, and then usually I just fold this back in because I don't need it. That helps really well getting your subject exposed when they're under a roof, because the light is going to bounce off the roof and hit them again. And it's going to give it like a very nice flattering look.
If there's no roof?
If there's no roof, then you're going to have a harder time trying to get them exposed. That's probably when you probably need to try to play around with it a bit more and point this probably more towards them. Though I've tried it before, you got to be a bit careful, because even in the lightest setting,
Makes them too white?
Makes them too white. So you might have to like play with more settings in your camera and probably use the lowest flash on this setting, like on this flash, because if it's now it's directly at them, you know what I mean? So it's going to be a lot of power, like a lot of light coming to them now instead of off the roof.
Yep.
It just depends on the environment you're in and what objects you have, like a roof, for instance. And yeah, it's just knowing how to like point at them, or when to just shoot out a roof or something.